Hey everyone, welcome to a replica airguns video. My name is Michael K. and we're looking at an airsoft product here. Now this is the WE G39C gas blowback airsoft rifle. And this is my full review, so I'm going to be doing the tabletop and shooting review in this review. So if you haven't noticed, it is a replica of the H&K G36C. Now this model is the WE G39. Now because it's not licensed, I think that's why they call it the G39C, to get around that a little bit. Now, this gun is made in Taiwan, and it does come in a fairly sturdy cardboard box. It's not fancy by any means. It's basically just zap strapped into the box, but it does come with the manual, all your instructions inside here, schematic, diagram, what not to do, and it does come with this very handy speed loader. You basically just put this on the magazine. I'll show you later kind of how it works, but you just basically feed the BBs in this way. Very simple. Alright, so let's get into some of the specifications. This is a Generation 2 open bolt chambered adjustable hop-up system. Again, it shoots 6mm airsoft plastic BBs. Recommended to use 0.25 gram or higher. Now I did use 0.20 gram BBs for my testing, so with 0.25 or higher gram BBs you may get a little bit better accuracy. Now this version does have very heavy blowback action. It holds 32 rounds in its magazine, and it has a 6.03mm tight bore barrel internally. It's also semi-auto and fully auto selectable. Now the bolt does need to be cocked prior to shooting, so you have to cock the bolt and chamber a round before you can fire this gun. Now the length of it is 28 inches in total. Now when it's folded, it's 19.5 inches. It does weigh a fairly hefty 6.1 pounds, even though there's a fair amount of polymer in this gun. Now I did do all my testing using propane, but I can imagine you can use other types of gases in it. Now it is a full-on replica of the H&K G36C, although it is not licensed. Now as I said, it does have a fair amount of polymer. Most of the external shell is polymer. The magazine has a polymer wrap on it, although there is some metal inside of it. There's tons of metal in this gun. There's a lot of metal parts on this gun. Almost all the mechanical parts are metal. Most of the pins, bolts, screws, rails, trigger, selector switches, buttons are all metal. Alright, we're going to take a look around this gun, so I will open the stock. I'll do my best to show you. It's going to be hard because this is a fairly big gun. Now by the way, that is the button you'd push down. You don't really need to push it to open it, but just a habit. That's how you would fold it when you're done. Alright, let's take a quick look. Kind of hard to get this in frame. We have our selector switch here. Now it's on safe, fire. So that's safe up there, fire, and full auto. It is ambidextrous. I'll show you that in a little bit. You have your magazine release here. As I said, the magazine is wrapped in a polymer or plastic, but then it does have a lot of metal inside of it. Now when you do load this magazine up, you essentially just pop this on the top here, feed your BBs in, and then you just push them down. You have to use a fair amount of force when you're doing it, mind you, but it works very well. Basically I put 16 BBs in it, feed it, do it again, get all 32 BBs in the magazine. Now just like most gas blowback guns, you put your propane in the bottom there, and this does hold approximately 3 magazines worth of propane. Now if you're shooting back to back really quickly, you may not get that much, especially in full auto, but if you're taking your time a little bit, shooting some semi-auto, some full auto, you should see about 3 magazines. This has a 3-stage propane chamber in it, or gas chamber in it. Now, as I was saying, all of these pins are metal, metal, metal. This is plastic here. Selector switch is metal. A lot of the bouncing off my tripod here. Metal, metal. The actual sights are metal. I didn't use my iron sights during this testing. I used my red dot. The front sight is plastic. This top rail is plastic. It's molded into the handle. Now the Picatinny rails are metal. You can see here I've got a nice little tactical light laser combination there, NC Star. Then you have your flash hider right here. This is you screw it on. It's counter threaded, so it's counterclockwise, and it is metal, like I said. Alright, I'm going to just pull this bolt back here. Now this is ambidextrous, so you can switch this either way. Kind of cool. And open your bolt. Alright. Now this little tab here allows you to close the bolt, like I just did. Quickly look at the other side. You can see here we have our WE branding. Now it's not licensed, but they do call it the G39C. Here's your ambidextrous selector. And again, bolt opens. It's fairly tight. I'm hitting my tripod left, right, and center. It is a fairly large gun when it's all opened up like this. So this is how you open your folding stock, or close your folding stock here. Alright, so we're going to close it up. Take out the magazine at this point. Not really too much else to show you here. I am going to do a basic field strip of this gun now for you. Alright, so to do the field strip, obviously you take out your magazine. We'll start by taking this pin out. Oh, it's a little tight. Now what's kind of cool, actually, I'm going to open up the stock, is you can put your pins in the back here. Just store them. Now this just pulls down and out. And then we'll take the back part out. Basically the pistol grip and the firing mechanism. Okay, this just pops right out. So we're almost apart here. We're going to take the forward section off of the front foregrip. And these are a little tight. Again, you just pop them in there so you don't lose them. And this just slides off the front. So you can see here we've got a lot of this gun taken apart now. We're going to actually remove the bolt. So open this up all the way. Now this section you just kind of tilt or angle backwards and then pull it down. Try that again. Hard to do with the camera. There we go. And this comes out. This is your spring. And then there's your bolt there. We're just going to slide it out. And there's your bolt. Okay, so there's your bolt. It's a nice heavy metal bolt. There's your gas chamber. Don't mind the screaming and yelling. My kids are outside having a good time, so you're going to hear it. That's what they do. So we're going to put this back together. Slide the bolt in. Put our bolt spring back in. Again, angle it a bit, and then pop it in there. Now we can just fold our stock back. Alright, we're going to put the forward section on here. Grab our pin. That's a tight one, I'll get that one later. There we go. Don't mind the screaming and yelling. Alright, so it's pretty much back together. And that's it. We're back together. Now I do quickly just want to show you the action of the blowback. So we're going to just pull this down here. Close the bolt. You have to use this button when there's no BBs in it just to make it work. It locks back when there's no BBs in it. So we're going to hold that button down and shoot it now. So I'll put it in semi-auto. You can see it has heavy blowback. Full auto. There you go. Very cool. Alright, so at this point I'm going to head outside and we're going to do some tactical shooting. I'm going to put a point of view camera right on this WE G39C, give you that real world perspective shooting. And you'll see me shooting outside in my forest at some buckets, like I did when I was shooting the RAP4 Ram paintball guns. Then I'm also going to do a little bit of high-speed video so you can see this bolt up close in action, recorded in slow motion. After that, we'll come inside and we'll talk about some of the shooting results that I got while I was outside. I took the time to shoot about 10 or 12 rounds on target from 30 feet away, see what kind of results we got with this gun in terms of accuracy. And I also put it through the chronograph just to see what kind of real-world feet per second we got out of it. Alright, so let's head outside and see how well this gun performs. Alright, so we're all set up here in the field. Again, we'll do a little panorama here. I've got my WE G39C, the compact version, which is actually styled after the G36 by H&K. And here we are. We're going to do the barrel shoot. I'm going to shoot in full auto. I only have one magazine. That's all I've got. But it'll be fine. There's 32 rounds in here, and I'm going to put, you know, little bursts into each barrel. So hopefully we have enough to finish this. All right, so let's get started. That's it. All right, so it worked out pretty good. Seemed to get a little slower at the end there. The magazine seemed to dump a little propane, but still got the barrels pretty good. Not too bad. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 barrels. Probably put about 5 or 6 rounds in each, somewhere in the neighborhood of that. Anyways, it performed pretty good. Now this gun generally gets a lot of shots per CO2. It's actually a little cooler today. I'm a little cold in my shirt. I thought it was going to be warmer out. But anyways, did all right. It's not super cold, but it's not super warm either. And so we got the G39C, performed pretty good. We're going to head inside now and finish up this review. Alright, taking a look at this target, I just really quickly zeroed this red dot that I have, this NC Star fairly affordable red dot on the target, and then I went and shot 30 rounds. And you can see here we got about a 2-inch grouping, and I'm not exactly sure how many rounds I actually shot into it. I was having so much fun. But I think there's around 12, maybe 15 rounds in here, and they all pretty much got in this 4-inch square here with one high shooter right here. Now this gun does shoot very well out to range. I noticed that the hop up, at least the way it was out of the box, was dialed in quite nicely. I didn't get a lot of arc. The BBs just seemed to shoot very straight. They were not curving left or right. They were just shooting beautifully straight for me. Now I did put 5 rounds through the chronograph, and I got an average of 396 feet per second. Now I was using a rather old propane tank, so I don't think I actually had the magazine loaded to its maximum capacity. Now this may have affected how well this gun performed. It still performed very well, but I had noticed, I have shot this gun in the past, and I felt that when I was using a little bit more propane, that the tail off, so at the very end of the magazine, when you're getting near that, say that 25 to 30 second shot, it seemed to be a little bit harder, and it seemed to not be slowing down as much, like it did in the test there. And I may have got maybe a little bit higher feet per second as well, with a little more propane jammed in this magazine. Either way, the gun still performed excellent for me. And by the way, I have been able to get 3 full magazines worth of shots with 1 propane fill-up. So this 3-stage magazine works very, very well, and it's very, very efficient. Alright, so let's talk about some of the pros and the cons. This is going to be kind of one-sided. So for the pros, there's amazing attention to detail. It's really just like the real H&K G36C, but without the licensing. But all the metal parts and polymer parts and basic construction are very, very close to the real version of this gun. As I said, it does have a lot of metal parts. Even though it's a polymer frame, there's a lot of metal in this gun. Very heavy bolts. All metal parts where you really need them to be. It's also semi-auto and full auto selectable. That's always nice. It has awesome blowback kick. You can really feel it in your shoulder. So when you're out doing any airsoft style games, this gun is really going to give you that genuine feel of shooting a gun. I also like that you can field strip this gun just like the real steel version. And it also shot right around 400 feet per second, which is great in terms of power but generally speaking, you're going to be allowed to use this gun on the field. Now, it's fully ambidextrous. The selector switch is ambidextrous, magazine release is ambidextrous, and the charging handle is ambidextrous also. Now, one nice thing about this gun is the design of the magazine. It uses this 3-stage propane chamber, which helps with the efficiency. It also gives it a high capacity as far as propane goes, giving you around 90 shots per fill-up. Now, with all of the pros going for this WE G39C, you would think it would be up there in terms of price point, but it's actually very affordable. Doesn't just look good, it's not just built well, it performs well also. Now, in terms of cons, it was actually kind of hard for me to find any. I had to think about it for a while. The only one I can really say is that it has a fair bit of polymer in it. The outer shell's polymer. But you know what? This is a modern firearm. Nowadays, companies want to make their guns lighter, and sometimes even polymer can be more durable for certain situations. And this is really built exactly like the real version. So if you had a metal frame, it wouldn't be very realistic. It is what it is. Alright, so that concludes this tabletop and shooting review of the WE G39C. I highly recommend this gun. If you're looking for a nice airsoft gun for plinking or for using in airsoft battles, then this gun is definitely the way to go. Now, I do have this gun available in the Replica Airgun store, so make sure to come down and check us out at replicaAirguns.com and pop into the store area. We also have a whole bunch of other products there, air guns, blank guns, airsoft guns, and accessories, so make sure to check those areas out as well. Now, I will be putting a full written post to go along with this video review on my Replica Airguns website, and I'll put a link to that post in the description to this video. You can also check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. And don't forget to subscribe before you go if you're not already a subscriber. So thanks again for watching another Replica Airguns video. Until next time, take care.